Hi guys, it's Camille, and I am going to be joined by Stacy very soon. And we're excited that you guys are here. It is day 12 of the experiment. How are you guys all doing? Let me know in the comments what you've been doing, what activities you've enjoyed, and most importantly, let us know where you're from and what kind of questions you guys have for Stacy and I. Okay, I'm gonna add Stacy in. Hi, Stacy.
Hello, Camille. Oh, I love technology. So fun.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's a Monday. I love October. I love family history. I'm loving the experiment. Oh yeah, it's so fun. We've had a dance party this weekend. We took the happy family quiz and learned a ton. I'm like an old.
How'd you do on the quiz? I want to hear this.
I'm gonna tell you because it might have been like a D.
I know people are like, I'm so surprised how low I got, and I think it's been very, very eye-opening for a lot of people.
Yeah, like maybe I need to rewind and re-raise my kids, you know? But no, it was very, I don't know who put that together, but that was really fun.
It was Bruce Feiler. He wrote the book, Secret of Happy Families.
Yeah, I love him. I have the book, but somehow I missed the quiz.
Yeah, I think the quiz came after maybe, but he based it on the research by Robin. Yes. Oh, I'm gonna forget her name.
Divish.
Yes, and I'm actually interviewing her on Wednesday.
Oh, you are? Oh, I'm totally
so excited.
Okay.
yes, go check it out. Let me know what questions to ask. That's what I've been trying to figure out. I've been so starstruck.
Huh. Well, how did they come up with the 20 questions? Like, how did they? I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and what's the importance of the 20 questions? Yeah, I'm excited.
What have they learned since then? Because they've done, that was, I think pre 9/11. So now, what have they done? Anyway.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Good for you.
I'm gonna have to go write those ones down. Yeah, I've been so starstruck. I'm like, I don't know, Robin, what are we gonna talk about? I don't know what to talk about.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. I mean, she has been quoted. I have heard her and that study quoted gazillions of times. So yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is no one knows that that's who they're quoting is Robin and her study. And so that's why I'm so starstruck. I don't know, Twitter pated. I don't know.
No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see. We've got a few people joining us. We've got Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Good morning. And we've got Liv's Treehouse.
Hi, Olivia.
Oh, and we've got Katie. Hi, guys. Okay, awesome. So we're 12 days into this. We are more than halfway, right? I got to do my math real fast.
Today, right? Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Somewhere
today and today.
Yeah, halfway between yesterday and today was halfway. So, we got Tara Lynn. She says she's excited for Stacy. Woo!
Hey, hi, Tara Lynn.
Okay, so we're halfway through this experiment. I know tons of people have had these great activities, these great experiences, and they're just gathering this stuff. And what do we do with it now, Stacy? That's what I want to know. What do we do with all this stuff that we've accumulated? The stories, the pictures, the heirlooms?
Yeah.
That's going to be for this experiment, I feel like.
Okay, well, I'm a stuff specialist, so I'm going to dive right in. Do you have, can you share my screen? And I'm just going to walk you through. So I had the good fortune of teaching this past February at Roots Tech.
Yes.
And honestly, I signed up to teach because there's something I want to get done, and so then I have to figure out this. So I'm excited to share with you how you can begin with the box. And you
the box.
One box.
Yes, I took that class. And while we're talking, I don't have the option to add your screen yet. So I think you need to push another button or two.
Okay. It says Chrome has lost permission. Can I just hit share screen again?
Yeah, hit share screen again. Yep.
There we go. Now can you do it? Or maybe I hit it. There we go. Share. Okay, Stacy's figuring it out.
We'll get it figured out. Not yet.
Oh, there's a little thing that says it's lost permission. Follow these steps. Uh-oh.
We like technology, guys. We're getting there.
Oh, ensure your browser is checked. I don't know how to do that.
Maybe just share. I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
try entire screen. I don't know.
Okay, I can do that. Let's see. Share screen. How
Maybe
about
that'll work.
screen? Yes, click on it. Yes, hit share. And then it always says it just says like you've lost permission. Follow these steps. On your Mac. Oh, click the Apple logo top left, security privacy. Oh my gosh.
That's what it is.
Here we go.
Okay, well, while you're clicking on that, yes, I took your class in February and I loved it. It definitely motivated me. But my problem is that my box is a full room and it was in storage in February. But I've got it out of storage now. And so I'm excited to have a refresher with you so I can figure out what I need to do.
There we go.
Yay. Sounds like we're getting somewhere. Okay, so in the comments, guys, let me know who has boxes. I see Tara Lynn. She says, I have so many boxes. This will be good for me. I love that.
Okay, hold on. Here's the crazy thing, and we can just talk through these slides. It says I have to quit Chrome in order to change the settings. So we will just talk through this together.
That works. Yeah. That works.
Yep.
Yeah, and Katie says she's like me and has a whole room. So we're getting some box stories here.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So here's the deal with boxes. And the first thing is, I just want you to be, you're probably already motivated, but at the same time, most people have completely unrealistic expectations. Like there's all kinds of treasures, right? A family connection in the box.
Yes.
It's just like, I had this crazy expectation that there's just going to be a whole weekend that's going to be completely unscheduled, and I'm going to be able to open the box and go through the entire box. I'm probably going to write some best-selling memoir because I now know all this stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take it from an old mom to a younger mom or anybody else. That's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen like that. So what we need to do is get really clear about what we can do, because what we don't want to do is pass that box on to the next generation. Okay?
Agreed.
We want to be the curators. We want to be the ones that open it up. We're going to make it more accessible. And we're going to, so that when we have 15 minutes, we're going to know what to do next. Okay. And I love that. It's totally, totally possible. Okay. And that
sounds like a good plan. So yes.
One box. Okay. So the first thing is that we're just going to sort. It's really crucial that you put your sort hat on. Okay. And that when you sort, and there's 5 categories we're going to sort all the stuff into. While we're sorting, we're not reading. I know it's going to be hard. You're going to go, oh my gosh, look at this thing, right? And then before you know it, you've lost 45 minutes. So you have to be, nope, right now I'm in sort mode and I'm going to tell you the 5 categories, and you literally just make piles as fast as you can and you sort the box. Okay. And then I'll talk to you about what happens next. But here's the piles. Number 1, photos. Now, if you find photos and they're maybe attached to something else, don't unattach them. Just put them in the photo pile. If you find an entire album, like I found my mom's wedding album, just stick the whole album in the photo pile. We're just getting it in piles. The next category is written stuff. And that's everything like letters. It's just all kinds of, I'm trying to think. Here's my little picture. Hold on. But it's mostly letters, but sometimes it's, I don't know. I found newsletters from family reunions from 20 years ago. So it's just stuff that's got a lot of writing on it and not a lot of photos. And you stick that in the written stuff pile, okay? And then there's documents. So documents, they're written, right? But they're things like marriage certificates and certificates for ordinances or even school certificates. But, they're documents and they look special. So for right now, put them in the documents pile. Graduation certificates, all of those kind of things, okay? So there's a documents pile. And then there's memorabilia. So this is maps and greeting cards and brochures and postcards and all of that fun stuff that goes in a memorabilia pile. So we've got photos, we've got written stuff, we've got documents, we've got memorabilia. The last one is basically 3D stuff. It's stuff that's not flat. And every box has a few of these things, and sometimes they're super cool. But just for now, you can even put them in another box. You know what I mean?
Right. Make another box.
Yes. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to, now that we've got the box, and you don't have to sort the whole box at once. You can say, I'm going to sort the first half of the box. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But you know, set up a session, say for 30 minutes, I'm going to sort, kind of depending on how much stuff is in the box. Once you have pretty good, you have 4 pretty good piles and you've got this other 3D stuff on the side, then what we're going to do is we're going to assess how important this stuff is.
Okay, we've got a question before we move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Liv wants to know how we sort without reading or getting sucked into it. Well, I'm assuming that's the full extent to her question.
It's going to happen. But if you are limited on time, you just need to say, nope, right now, just go brain. I know it's going to be so fun to read those letters, but right now we're just going to sort.
Yes, have a conversation with yourself, right?
Yeah, you seriously do. Because tell yourself, once it's sorted, it's going to be really easy to find these letters again. And then there's going to be nothing else to do but just read and enjoy, right?
I love that.
A lot of people, and because if you stop and read everything, then what you'll end up feeling at the end of however much time you have, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to be like, I can't do this today. And you put the lid back on the box and put it back under the bed or in the closet or wherever you got the box.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you have to be like, nope, today I'm a sorter. And then once you've got
not a reader, I'm a sorter. Yes.
Yes. And then you grab one pile. Now, when you're ready, okay, the next thing is we're going to assess the importance the importance of the things in these piles. So pull over one of the piles, and let's just say pull over the written pile, just for fun. It actually doesn't matter. But there's some things I want you to think about or look for, okay? One, especially if you're a family historian, a genealogist, you're going to look for things that are essential. So those really are going to be, you're going to find most essential things in your documents pile, right? But you have names and dates and, right, primary source information that you're going to use to help build out your family tree.
Okay. So,
and I want you to pay attention to this because some of the stuff you find will check all of these boxes. But the first box you want to check is this essential information? Okay. Now, sometimes you're not going to know. Liv's like, Stacy, I didn't read the letter, so how am I going to know? You know?
Yeah.
But for sure, look right off the top for the things that you know contain essential information. The other thing you're going to look for is original stuff. Okay, and you're like, well, it's all original. Well, no, it's not. There's a lot of memorabilia and stuff that, you know, it doesn't have someone's handwriting or someone has drawn something or, you know, there's actually original information. Okay, so just kind of you make note. When you pick up something, you're like, do I think it has essential information? Yes. Does it have some original information? Yes. Okay, the next thing you're going to ask yourself is it super detailed? Like, can I tell that there's a ton of names and dates and all this detailed stuff? If something matches all the, like it checks the essential box, it checks the original box, it checks the detailed box, okay? Then the next thing is it cool?
Yeah, on that one.
Right? And you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, right? This is the telegram that my grandpa sent my grandma, you know?
Yes, you told that story, right?
So when something in your box checks all of those things, right? Then it's going to pull harder on your heartstrings and you're going to want to do something with it, okay? Yes. And the next step is once you have something, then I want you to have a little stack of Post-it notes, okay?
Okay. Love the Post-it notes over here, so I'm on that board. Okay.
You've picked up this thing, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It checks all of those boxes. You take your Post-it note, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to scan it, right? Do you want to transcribe it? Do you want to photograph it? I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to share it? I want you to write on the Post-it note, what do you want to do? Okay. Now, some of this stuff, and it's really important that I give people information. I feel like I'm talking super fast, but I give people permission. Some of this stuff you can throw away.
Oh, no, yeah.
You can throw it away because if you don't purge, then you're also not prioritizing. Okay?
Okay.
So don't freak out. If you're not sure, you can put it in the maybe purge pile for right now. But someone has got to go through this box again and make it more. The thing that creates true value is scarcity. Someone's got to say, wow, right? I've got limited amount of stuff and it's super incredibly valuable because I've gone through it and I've eliminated all the other things that I've decided are not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, love it.
Then now you have these piles, you're going through the piles and you're realizing this is something that really is amazing and I've got a Post-it note on it and I'm going to scan it, right? Or I'm going to transcribe it or whatever. And then And you'll know, I promise your heart will tell you, this is the important thing, because what we're ultimately going to do is we're going to get a different box. It's going to have file folders in it.
Okay.
Okay. And guess what those file folders are? Those 5 categories. We're going to have folders, and there might be multiple folders, but there's a section for photos. There's a section for written stuff. There's a section for documents. There's a section for memorabilia. And then we've got that 3D stuff over here on the side.
Yeah, it's just something else.
And really what we're doing is we're just trying to move the unorganized box into a more organized box. Nice. But as we sort, right, and as we assess, then we're gonna be like, I have to do something with this. Yes. So it's super important, and that you have one folder right in the beginning of your box. It's the first thing you see in your new box.
New box.
Yeah, and I call this folder the action folder.
Ooh, I like that. Action, right? Yes.
So you've had a really good sorting session. You've decided to look through a few things. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found this letter from my dad, and I can tell that it has all this detailed information. And so you put on a sticky note, I'm going to transcribe it. I'm going to upload it to Family Search. I'm going to do whatever. And then you put it, because you're dying right now inside, you put it in your action folder.
Okay.
You want to take action on it. Now, here's the really cool part, you guys. Your action folder, this is my rule, but I'm going to give it to you. Your action folder only gets to hold 10 things.
Ooh, I like that. Okay.
So once your action folder has 10 things, guess what you have to do?
Take action.
Take action.
Yes.
You get to take that action folder upstairs by your computer or wherever you're going to take action, and you start taking action, okay? So you transcribe that letter, you read that letter, you take a picture of it, you upload it, whatever you're going to, okay? Then you take, your sticky note will tell you all the things you're going to do with it. Then you take the sticky note back off, and you take that wonderful thing, and sometimes you won't need to keep it after that. If you've got a letter and you've transcribed it, I mean, I know it's hard, but you can throw the original away if you want to. Does that make sense? Yes. Or you can just refile it.
In the file.
In the file box. It won't have a sticky note on it anymore, and that's how you'll know it's good.
You've done something with it.
You've done something, and it's just going to go back in the box, and it's going to be more accessible to you and everyone else in the future.
I love it. Perfect.
Okay? And then when your action folder, you've taken action on 10 things, and you've either decided to let them go or to refile them, you take that action folder downstairs, and it's time for another sort session.
Sweet. Okay.
So what I love about this is you're not just sorting for 3 months.
Right, yeah.
You're not stopping and reading everything and going, I'm never going to be able to do this, and putting the lid back on the box. You're giving yourself, right? You're having these sessions, you're filling up, you're coming up with 10 actions, then you get to take the action. And you're not going to necessarily be able to take all the action in one afternoon, right?
Yeah.
You keep your action folder right here by your computer on a Sunday afternoon when you have half an hour. You're like, sweet, I'm going to take some action. And you know exactly what to do. And you do it, and then you go and refile that item. And pretty soon your action folder has nothing in it. You go back downstairs and you start again.
I love it. This sounds so doable. And let us know in the comments what you guys think. Does this sound doable? What other questions do you have for Stacy? Let us know. Let's keep it going. Good conversation here. Okay, awesome. So what about the 3D items?
Okay, so what about the 3D items? Yeah. I love to display those. I think if you find a cool 3D item, what we want to do is we want to find out what it means. So we want to label it. You can actually take a little paper tag, right, and write on it, this belonged to my mom. Maybe it's a little locket. Inside is a picture of her mom and her. But tie something to it so that it has any information that you know about it. And sometimes what I'm learning as I go through my mom's box, I'm learning that there's information in letters that tell me about the 3D item.
I love that. Yes.
But you absolutely tag that 3D item with information so that maybe you're going to display it in your home. Maybe you're just going to photograph it and make it a part of a blog post, or you're going to put it on Family Search. But the actual item, please label it. Please, so that the next person who pulls it out of the box, right, goes, oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I know what this is. Yeah.
Basically, we're saying to our next generation, our kids, don't you dare throw this away. Has meaning.
This is cool. Don't throw it away. It has a story. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when you're done sorting and taking action, you're going to pass this beautiful box onto someone, and they're going to be able to open it up and go, oh, look at these photos. How cool. They're going to know that you've already taken action on them. But they're originals, and if you want to keep them, that's fantastic. But if they want to reread the letters, that your mom wrote your dad, they can totally do that. Or they can go, you've already taken action. So they know they're going to go find it wherever on Ancestry or Family Search. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah. And Liv just said, get a shot box for our 3D items. I love that. They're one of our partners. You can win one at the final party, or they have a special perk for us over at our website.
Yes.
So
and I have a shot box and I love it. Yep.
Yes, sweet.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Yep. Let's see. We have another question. Could Stacy talk more about organizing printed photos? I have a
Yes, Stacy could talk more about that. Stacy teaches a whole class about that. I'm going to be teaching in January. So I would love for you to come to stacyjulian.com and get to know me a little bit better. You can get on my email list. I'm going to notify you of all the good things that I get to do with this passion of mine for family history, because that's a really big question, what to do with all the printed photos.
Did I spell it right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. There you go.
I'm a big category person, okay? Which doesn't mean that I'm against putting things in chronological order, but I believe, okay, that categories help us tell more interesting stories. So just like I had you organize your box into 5 categories, I teach people to organize photos. Literally, you can take your physical photos or digital photos and you can tag them, okay? But I love the categories of us.
Okay.
You and your immediate family, okay? People, which is the people that you really love the most. So but it's separate from your immediate family. So it's like your extended family, it's like grandparents, it's family history, it's friends, okay? Yeah. Then there's places. Places is the 3rd category, which is, places that you go to a lot, you frequent over and over again, places around your home that have meaning to you. Your home is one of the subcategories in places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and take pictures of your home and your rooms, your kids' rooms. You won't regret taking a picture of your kids' rooms, especially if it's messy.
Yes, especially if it's messy. That's so fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the things you get to put in wedding videos that make it really
exactly.
Anyway, but so and you don't do this with all their photos. So honestly, you take and if if you come take my class with me, it's a similar process. We do a lot of sorting first so that we can identify our favorites, and then some of those favorites we take and we put into these categories, and then over time, and a lot of people now are digitizing photos, but over time, and I'm just talking a few months or a year, when you open up just that us category or you open up just that places category, you're like, oh, now I see, right? I see patterns and I see tradition and I see this meaning that's woven through my life, and I want to tell a story about that lake house because my family has been going back to that lake house for 40 years. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, this makes sense. I love that.
Yeah, that's how you uncover the really unique personal stories that are hidden in those photos. So that means you give yourself permission to not work with a lot of them.
Yeah.
We do a lot of tossing. I know it's crazy. It feels scary.
It's so hard.
Once you start to prioritize photos and use your best and most meaningful photos to tell stories, then it's easier to let the other stuff go.
Yes.
But again, you're a curator.
And you've given us permission. And I think that's what a lot of people need is the permission to someone just to tell them it's okay to throw this away. It's okay. You can throw this away. And I love that you brought up the places because so I inherited both my grandma's photos. And I've got trips and I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
It's the Great Wall of China. Cool. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me now because you're gone and I didn't ask you that question and you didn't write anything. All you did was stick it to a page. Right. Or like my other grandma on my dad's side, she has tons of black and white pictures of the Mission Range in Montana near St. Ignatius. And I'm like, it's a beautiful mountain, but what do I do with this? And so I love that you added places because I can see myself saying, okay, I can keep one picture of the Mission Mountains and I can say that. I can say, Grandma loved taking pictures of the Mission Mountains. She thought they were beautiful. They are beautiful. And then I can be done. And that you just gave me that permission and I love it. So thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. But that's, I think if you keep that in the forefront of your mind, that really what we want to be able to do is tell some stories. We want to be able to share our personal experiences and perspective, especially about people we love. And so in order to do that, we have to do some paring down and some selecting of favorites, and then adding, again, that perspective to those favorites. That's what creates value, you know, and I'm not talking about, I mean, when you're going back a couple generations, you didn't have 500 photos, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not saying throw those away. You know what I mean? You know, I'm talking about as it becomes more and more overwhelming, then, you know, selecting a few of your favorites and you adding the story to it, that's what creates that scarcity, right? A photo, a personal story is very scarce in our world. And that becomes valuable, and that you then can pass on to the next generation. Because, you know, on my phone is something like 65,000 digital images. Okay.
Yes.
So even if I pay hundreds of dollars to have that all archived in the cloud, my kids are going to go, heck no.
I'm not even going to go through that. Right. Like, why do I expect my kids to?
Right. And if you think a box is overwhelming, try organizing a cloud. It's not even, you know, so
they're just going to forget about it. Even though you paid for it, they're just going to forget about it. Yeah.
So just choose to be the curator. I love to picture my life or my mom's life as a museum exhibit. And when you walk into a really cool museum exhibit, someone has very carefully decided what you will see first, right? Yes. And they've created an experience that walks you through someone's life and their highlights and the things that they've accomplished and the things that they, you know, how they've changed, the things they endured. And by the time you leave, you feel so enriched, right? The curator of that museum, I guarantee you, did not show you everything in the archives, right?
Right.
And they were very careful to organize it again and to present it in a way that was inviting and accessible and life-changing. That's why we love curators. So we have that opportunity to be that for us and for the, you know, the generations that we know well enough to do that for. So
yes, I love that. I love that, being a curator of your own family history museum.
Yes.
Whether that's your personal family or your ancestral family. Yep. You are the one who's in charge of that. I love that.
Okay, then so now. Oh, do you have another question?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll show you two things, okay? I'm a big believer in, I call them snack-sized projects, okay? Just like it's really easy to open the pantry and grab a snack. It's who can't do that?
Yes.
So what I want you to do is for the people you know, we talked about, you know, deciding what really has value. These are some pictures of my grandmother Hall, who I love. She's gone now, right?
Yes.
I don't know her. So I've taken literally a handful of photos that I love, feature Grandma Hall, and I've written about each of those photos. I've recorded some of the memories, right? This is something that's, oh, and guess what? And here's a picture of me as a little girl. I'm the storyteller.
Yes.
So this is totally digestible and accessible and fun. Anyone will look through it, read it, okay?
Yes.
So make something digest, and I'm a big believer in printing some of these photos. It can't all be digital.
Yes, please print. Yes.
Okay? Yeah. So this is something now. I've done this for my the grandparent that I knew, but you can do the same thing. This is Addie Hall. Addie's Hall great-grandmother was Anne Temperance George, who came from England. And I went to family search and I found pictures and information.
I love it.
My kids don't care about, I'm sorry, they don't care until they're 40. Maybe 30 if they're cool like you guys. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I have broken that information down, made it accessible in a snack-sized album, and then look, I've connected that old stuff. I took them to Idaho where she settled.
What part of Idaho?
Okay, look, and then here's a picture of me next to the Welcome to Idaho sign.
Love it.
Of the house. So what you do when they're people that you don't know, they're generations ago, you still take that information and you make it snack-sized and accessible and you connect it to them.
I love that.
And then these little things can be in your house and they can be really inviting and like enticing.
Yeah.
And that's how you pull the next generation in. It's not with a box and not with a cloud, but with some curated projects that they can hold and read. Okay.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, we do have a slight question from YouTube. She says, I have a hard time figuring out how to label photos of ancestors that I never knew. So do you have any suggestions or tips? No?
Well, not that I don't have tips, but But you just do the best you can. I mean, a name, and if you can figure out a location, but that's where, again, and you kind of spoke to this, Camille, if you've got 15, like I've got a whole book of my grandpa's like travels, like you said. Okay. I mean, I try to find information as I look through the box and and I try to label a few of them, but honestly, that's where you let go. Okay.
Yeah.
In some cases, I mean, I'm talking about if you have 15 or 50 that look very similar, right? You pick 3 or 4, the rest you let go, which means you don't have to throw it away, but put it back in a box. Okay. But take the 3 or 4 and then you scan them and upload them to these sites, because guess what? We don't know over time what additional information will come to the surface and who else might discover that, oh my goodness, he's my ancestor too, right? So by making it publicly available, then you are opening yourself up to more information as information is made digital or made, or made available to other people. So your job again is to curate, give me 3 or 4 of that ancestor, do your best to label it, but then let's get it online where other people can help you.
I love that. So she followed up with this. I can't even figure out who they are. So I taught in February also at Roots Tech, and I love Roots Tech is awesome. It's free this year. Make sure you go sign up for it. It's the best opportunity you can take. But I taught on Facebook family groups. And so, Miss Bell, if you go to Facebook and create a group with a common ancestor, upload those photos and let your relatives help you. Let them help you label them. And if you can't even do that, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to tell you. That just let it be a push for you to label your photos. Sometimes you just have to use it as a learning experience.
I think there are sites out there, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like there are sites where you can upload unknown right stuff. Even if you say where you got it, you know what I mean? You can attach as much information as you have, and again, hope that they're discovered by another person. So
yes, someone can. Okay, Leslie asks, where can we get those snack-sized albums?
Oh. So I have partnered with a company called Close to My Heart, and I have a whole line of kits that are designed to help you tell family stories. So you can, again, if you go to stacyjulian.com, I think at the top it says products, you can learn about that. There's women, I don't sell them directly, but you can hook up with a consultant and they can help you for sure. But I'm always teaching classes, I'm doing Facebook Live. So the main thing is to get on my email list so that I can notify you of fun opportunities to learn, for sure.
And I have done that, and I can be a testament. It is great. She has some great ideas. So make sure you go do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so what other ways do you have to get what we have collected, what we have curated into our daily lives? Like, what do you have around your house? What activities have you created? I know you have one you wanted to tell us about, so I want to hear about that one for sure.
Most recent one. So, and I was going to do more of it over the weekend, but I didn't. But so I'm a new grandma, okay? When I talk about making these things accessible, I try to picture who's my audience for any particular project.
Begin with the end in mind, right?
Yes, exactly. And so I picture myself in a couple of years. Right now she's 8 months old, so she's not going to interact with my family history yet, okay?
Yeah.
But when she's 2 or 3 or 4, I've created this little box, okay? And when you open it up, inside, there's little laminated pieces. And when you lay those pieces out, this is what you get.
Oh, I love it. Cute.
Kind of a little game board, okay? And then inside, there's these fun little discs, and they're all color coordinated. This is how my brain, I lay awake at night coming up with stuff like this. Okay?
I love it.
But like there's a disc with me on it.
Yay!
Me all grown up, but on the back is me as a little girl.
Oh, I love it. So cute.
Grandkids, I can lay out my parents and my siblings on this tree, and I can say, this is the family I grew up in. Right?
Yes.
I turn it over and I say, but then I grew up, right? And then I married this man, right?
Yes.
And we had these children, and I put my children's faces on the tree, and we created a family tree. And then I say, but guess what? One of these people, I gotta find.
Yeah.
It's not done yet. But then I find the picture of my son who, okay, it's right here somewhere. Oh, then I find the picture. Here's my boy Clark. But guess what? He grew up, right? And then I see my granddaughter. Wait a second, who is this? And she says, oh, that's my dad, right? And we're creating our family tree. So
I love that.
Ways they're interactive and they help a child understand who they are in relation to this family tree, right?
I love it. I love it.
That's what I do. That's weird, but I love it.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. That's my favorite. I might have to copy you and make something like it.
And
So
when I finish something like this, I share it. I put it on my blog or I share it in some way. So again, just come hang out with me and I'll share these.
Hang out down below. There's the link. So
go
check it out.
Yep.
Any other ideas before we wrap up?
Oh gosh, I just think honestly the important thing is to not put these things in a box. Once they're out, I mean, just display them on a shelf. I read about an ancestor. Okay, I have one more idea for you. Right here behind me, you can kind of see I have some binders. Okay.
Yes.
And I have a binder for each of my 8 family lines. Does that make sense? My parents, my husband's great grandparents. So there's one for Hall. That's my maiden name, right? And so as I find things and inside each one, I've got a pedigree chart.
I love it.
You can see, right, how this person plays out in our family history. And then I try to create what I call a 1-page like life summary. And I try to do this going back for the different generations.
I love it.
Again, this is information that, well, for the first couple people, I know them, my dad and my grandpa. I can write those myself, right?
Yes.
But as I go back in time, I find these ancestors on Ancestry or Family Search, and I read about them. But I know, again, that my kids are not going to do that until they're much older. So I will find some little connecting bit of information. This is my great-grandfather.
Yes.
So this is Paul, okay? And I learned in a note that his granddaughter wrote, I learned that he had stick candy, and he would share that with his grandkids. So I went and bought stick candy, and I have stick candy over there on a shelf in my living room, right?
Yes.
You take the lid off the container, there's a picture of this man.
Oh, that is so cool.
So those are just little connecting things. But what is right here in my notebook, nobody has to get online, and you can quickly go back and read these 1-page summaries. So again, for me, it's all about paring things down, making it accessible, so that when your kid comes home and says, Mom, I gotta have a story, pick one and take it, pick one and learn about it, and then go share it with your school class or wherever you're sharing it. So
that is awesome. Yeah, because it makes history come alive when you know that a family member lived through that.
Yes.
One of the activities, I think it was over the weekend, it might have been Friday, was going and looking at the Spanish flu, like what ancestor went through the Spanish flu. And that totally helped me. I actually found out that one of my ancestors died of the Spanish flu, like the pneumonia that followed it. And it was just crazy to read that and be like, this is why we're being so cautious, is because we're learning from this. They wore masks. They had to do these things. They had to quarantine in their homes, and they didn't have connections like this. They didn't have Zoom. They only had letters, and if that, like, some people couldn't even afford to write or didn't know how to write. And so it's just been really cool to read about that and connect it. And so I love your little connection with the stick candy. I love that. That is so fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and I discovered my maternal grandmother, she wore dark glasses her whole life, and she was legally blind. And guess how that happened to her? Spanish flu.
Spanish flu? Wow, that's crazy.
They thought she was going to die. They actually had a Native American woman. They were friends with the Native Americans that lived in their area, and one of them came in and sat by her side and gave her herbal remedies and helped her fever. So she lived through it, but it left her blind. So that's about the Spanish flu. And so that's another, let's maybe end here, which is we're living through this unprecedented time for us. Take some pictures of you and now. You probably are doing this, but take a picture of your feet standing at Costco on that dot that says social distance, I mean, we want to capture and picture some of these things, and then don't wait to write. What are some of the feelings you've experienced? What are some of the tender mercies that you've recognized? What are some of the things, that the ways you have connected with your family over Zoom? Because I promise you, in 100 years when this happens again, right,
They'll have holograms or something, right?
Very interesting, yes. And what you write, that becomes a primary source for the future, and that's super important. So
I love that. That's a great place to end. So, in recap, really fast, get your box.
get your box.
You're going to sort through it without reading it. Don't get sucked into it. Tell your brain, it's okay. Today I'm a sorter. I'm not a reader.
Right.
Sort through it. When you find something that hits was it 4 categories that?
Well, there's 5 if you include the 3D stuff. Yeah. But
Okay,
there's
yes.
photos and written stuff and documents and memorabilia.
Okay. And then inside of those categories, it was the if it's important, right?
Yeah. How you used to, how important is it? You know, is it essential? Is it detailed? Is it cool?
Yeah.
Is it
perfect? You put a Post-it note on it with what action you're going to take. You're going to put it in your action folder. That action folder can only have 10 things. Stacy gave us permission for that. So when it hits 10 things, you're going to take some action. Doesn't have to be right away. Doesn't have to be all at once. But when you can, you take action on those 10 things. And then you go back and you sort again and you repeat the process. I love it.
Yes.
Then you got to get these things displayed and you've got to make them accessible to the next generation. So that's your next task after that. I love it. Great.
I do it 15 minutes at a time. I promise you, I don't ever do this 5 hours at once. Once you get it set up, you literally can say, I've got 20 minutes. I'm going to run down and
I'm going to do it really fast. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
And it seriously makes it so manageable and it's bite size. It's how you eat an elephant, right?
Yes.
I love it. So thank you for breaking that down for us. Okay, guys, make sure you go to stacyjulian.com, sign up for her email, take her class in January. I am finishing my degree, hopefully, in December. And so I'm going to have free time in January. So I think I'm going to go sign up. That makes me really excited.
And I started this morning writing a blog post, so it's not quite done yet, but I had a 5-page handout that I gave out at Roots Tech. Yes. So I'm going to put it in that blog post. So just
watch. You're awesome.
Because I'm just like, everybody needs to have the handout because it will help remind you of what we've talked about today. So
Yes. And as soon as you get that up, we'd love to link it if you'd like in the comments. Okay, perfect.
We'll do it.
So then they can just click on it, come straight to you.
Yes.
Okay.
And you guys are doing an amazing thing. I just want to say that one more time. I love you, Camille, and all of your team members and everything that you're creating with this Family Connections experience. It's so important and it's so awesome. So thank you.
It's been fun. Thank you for joining us. And I heard you've been teaching our young women's the young ladies in your area. Awesome.
Yep.
That is great. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Stacy.
Thank you. We'll see you.
We'll see you guys.